All right. I have something in front of me. Horizon Organic Chocolate Organic Low-Fat Milk. It says, with 100% Horizon milk, 100% Horizon taste, 100% Horizon nutrition. No added hormones, no antibiotics, non-GMO, no toxic pesticides, pasture-raised cows. That's what Horizon Organic means, but they said it 3 times in the print here, like in their statement. And then, of course, it has the logo that says Horizon Organic. And there's something here that reads, pull here to open. Pull here to open. And I didn't do that yet. That's still intact. Pull here to open. I can, or I can pull here. Or I can pull here to open. Or I can pull here. But I'll need to pull here as well. If I pull here to open, I can turn it over this way too. And see, it goes here, like this part that you pull. It has perforation here that goes all the way around. It's not perforated, but it's where the box is already marked for itself to open. I would call it perforation, but it's not officially perforated. That's what I'm describing as has a problem here. So if I pull this open, it will leave that the box has to be this way, so that everything is upright when I remove the top with this thing that I have to pull around from both sides, from here and from here. It goes all the way around and removes the top, and it leaves the bottom in this part of the tray here. So we don't want to open this right here, but it's already open this much. That's how it is now. And I don't have a piece of tape so that I can tape it together so I can keep using it. So what about the top? And can I use the top instead? So then I would have to turn this whole thing over. Now it's like this. Then I would have to turn it over this way. Oh, now the bottom doesn't look the same. It's red. What does that mean? Why is it red? What is this here? Packaging supporting responsible forestry. Packaging supporting responsible forestry. Well, forestry at this time is when trees are evidence of abuse of paper. The paper becomes the tree. You don't cut down the tree and make it into pulp and then try to make paper out of it. That's backwards. The paper becomes a tree, not the tree becomes a paper. So if they want to know about the cardboard here, does it come from a tree? It would be no, because the tree would be coming from the paperwork on this cardboard, like office paperwork, people's offices, or I guess the stores whatever paperwork they have, including the receipt, is like a paperwork problem. Right now I have offices in my order are due in a prison. You don't have an office unless you have it inside of a prison with the address deceased. That's how you would run the office, and you would know from God what's in the office. It wouldn't be something like you would sit at a computer and enter in whatever it is you're thinking into the computer. That's how people break their computers and they have to throw them out, they have to get new computers, or they might go into an office someday and find that there's all new computers in there, and you're really not to be able to afford to break the computers. If you've done that before, if you've had to replace computers, that's true, you don't have it paid for, that God made the computer and everything in it. The keyboard is illegal data entry into a computer. So the trees population is not true. Maybe the whole world would be all completely covered with trees because of the paperwork abuse. This is half of the size of this, and it comes in plastic wrapping. And this is, the one I like is the chocolate, but this is what I was offered over here is vanilla. And that's okay too if it's vanilla. I would like vanilla, but I don't know if I will like this one because it's organic low-fat milk. And low-fat I wouldn't ask for, I would ask for whole milk. And it's not whole milk. I don't know if this is whole milk or not, but it's chocolate, so that's yes. This is low-fat milk. I would say maybe no to that, but it's vanilla, so it's yes to the vanilla. The stock makes it difficult to shop for me because I see stock that comes from people that I know being too close to myself, and then they influence what the stock is formed as, and then how much stock is accessible to myself. It's accessible to myself because I don't have access to stock. I form the stock, but I don't have leverage to get the stock out of your employment problems. And I would just describe the employment disaster as that that you don't know how to be yourself in a jail, in a prison, on a point of that you're homeless, so that when you're in the jails and prisons with the address deceased, and that's you having to be able to decease the address, then you can ask God all the questions you want in a locked in prison and see how much you like it. Yeah. But you have a lot of freedoms the wrong way. America, freedom is not for you to ask unlimited questions with human trafficking moving all around you. You're not fair to the size of myself. My whole creation is ruined because of just one person who was too close to me and asked me a question I didn't really offer him an answer to. He just stood there and waited for an answer as though God didn't hear what he said to me and he would take a message. Well, I'm not here that way. I would have died a long time ago, but I don't have myself deceased that way. It's up to me which way I want to decease myself. I can decease myself another way as well. But what I don't afford, and I made a strong statement with my life is my message. That's what Sai Baba said. But I would say, well, I'm just really old and I'm very far in the wrong, homeless. I'm just so homeless, and I don't have my life as my message that way because I lost custody of myself because it was homeless. Well, that's what's wrong with you. You charge me the money. You don't have to charge me the money, but I altogether don't have keys. You charge the money and I don't have the keys that way either. The charges are dismissed. That's how I'm going to say, did you hear what I said? That I'm God and I'm far in the wrong, homeless. And it sounded like I'm very much making that statement as you would find me in the wrong that way from your points of view. But I am adding to that an amendment. The charges for the food, the charges, all of the charges, money, price, charges are dismissed. by myself deceased out of the door locking. And I am come to myself deceased out of the door locking and out of the formed world at the same time, because you don't understand the door locking with respect and regard to myself. You think that I have some kind of a problem, and I am not a problem. I am here because this place is a problem to myself. I am not a problem to myself in this place. No, you don't understand that about me. If you even believe me in this video. This is another chocolate milk from another and these are not cold. These have been on the shelf and they're not cold. The one I just removed out of the refrigerator is cold, but it's not the same gift as these over here. And that's your problem with gifting. I just don't have myself deceased with your gifting problem. That you want to gift me what I need so that you can give me as a gift to myself. I don't know why you do that from my point of view, because you don't know that you don't have to treat me the same as everybody else. I'm not here to make a test and an estimate as to what you are to myself. You're shunts, you're illegal alive shunts, and you're not really going to change for me, but you're not supposed to hurt me because I don't have any prejudice with you, and you are supposed to know that with yourselves. And I think you are past the question of, do you know what prejudice is? I would say if you have a penis and you speak English, you don't have prejudice. A penis doesn't speak English, it speaks ach. And I don't want to be here anymore because it's true that I am not embarrassed. I am humiliated and deceased. But why? Because I don't have a penis. And that's what's wrong with the penis. I'm humiliated until deceased. I am insulted to death. And I don't even have a penis. That's what the penis did to my life. Other people's penises. OPP, other people's penises. This is a waste matter. I don't throw anything away because I can decease myself with it. I can keep all the garbage in this apartment and die having been crowded out of the apartment by garbage and I can't get to the fridge or the door. I can do that and decease myself that way, but I don't have alive that way. I don't actually know what God expects out of that. I throw the garbage outside of the place where I live and stay because that's where it came from, the outside. I didn't appear inside. It appeared elsewhere in the stores. So I've been showing food on the internet, and I don't want to do that again, but I have something to say about the food being mine, and that's just for myself. You have some kind of complicated food disaster problem I just described in a previous video short on YouTube. I said that everybody who is not myself, who has ever eaten out of the stock key, which is alived by myself and it's formed by myself, deceased, uh, if you have eaten out of the stock key food, you have illegal alive of yourself and shunning. That means if you think you're sleeping, you're shunning. If you have eaten food out of the stock, you are shunning in your sleep. You are shunning. And you might shun and go missing altogether. Someone else might notice that about you. And that's because you eat out of the stock key. And that's a complete waste of life. That means you missed your prejudice and you're not forming and alive, but you're supposed to be there. Do you have a name? You're supposed to be there. If you have a birthday, that's not true. You're not really there all the time. You have very heavy conflicts over the custody of the stock, and that's because it's not yours. Everybody's paying charges, but you don't own the charges. And kids who don't pay the charges, they're being charged wherever they are that they see the food. That means you don't have what it takes to leave, that you see the food because you see it everywhere. You're due outside. If you see it outside, maybe God might give you something. I would like to add that the first plate of food I ever ate, it was the first plate of food I ever saw in my life, was inside of my house at the kitchen table. I would like to say that I died as though somebody found me outside on the street, on the sidewalk, and gave me my first plate of food. That's how I died, as though the first plate of food was served outside, served to myself. And it's not true that I can pinpoint exactly the who person who served me the food. It's not really one person. I don't have, because my first plate of food was in my house. It's my house's food. And I am not a house. I am in my house in threatening. And my house made the food for me. And I was not alone when I ate it, but I was going to eat it because it's my house, or not because I don't have to because it's my house. And I did eat the food, but it's hysterical that I'm paying for that I ate the food outside somewhere. And that means it doesn't have an address. My first plate of food doesn't have an address anymore. The address on the first plate of food is deceased outside. As though God is that sloppy. I'm not that sloppy. I know that the food was inside. Peter Cetera, what one good woman can do. One good woman. Yeah, is it one good woman? Yes, a woman. There's no women in alive. There's not a woman in alive. I'm not the woman. I am the Godhead. The woman is my wife in heaven, but she's not alive here. She's creating myself, and she's not a woman that way. One good woman would be homeless. Peter Cetera. He's a singer, and he's also known by the group Chicago, the musical group Chicago. So, what happened to the man? I am the man. I am not the woman. The woman is up in heaven, deceased, and she's creating myself. But she's not really the woman. She's not the queen. She's not the wife. She is like the architect of myself, deceased here. And she's feminine because I have female genitals on myself, but she's really God to me, and that's myself to me here. Um, I don't say that it's a female God above myself. Oh, wow, I have no mind for that. I guess I don't really see my own genitals as being feminine would be from a female God. I didn't really see it that way. No. I think God is just God. I didn't think anything else. Ariana Grande sings a song called God is a Woman. It's I was surprised when I first heard the song because I just don't relate to God being female. I don't see myself as God being female. I'm just a female. I'm very low in this life form. In this lifetime, I would just say I'm a female. And it's hard for me to get what I need as a female because the males think that the females have genitals, and so do I. If that's what the males think, yeah, I sort of think that too. The males have genitals, the females have genitals. Yeah, I sort of think that too until I died out of thinking that way. But I would acknowledge that's maybe what you think I think about you, and it had gone on over the years that I do think that the female's genitals are just genitals to the males, and that's illegal because the female is supposed to say what is a female. It is non-threatening to the male by design, and the male is not supposed to threaten the female. Is being threatening to a male because it's female. The female is not threatening to the male if it's female. So that's what's wrong with the male just saying that a female has genitals. The male is not supposed to say that, and he's really at this point being described as an it because his penis is illegally male. Male really implies that the masculine entity has a dung genital, or a penis could be a male as well. If the male has a penis genital, it's a male, or if the male has a dung genital, it's a male. If the male has a penis genital, that's not doing alive. I know that because I'm not here if you're not here.